Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this HP Pavilion model G7-1150us. Alright, so this customer is having a fan issue. They already had the battery removed. I guess their battery was bad, but to remove it, you slide that over, it pops up, and you can pull it out. Alright, anyways, next we're going to take out this bottom cover. There's two screws here. We're using a PH1 or JAS1 screwdriver. Okay, so let's undo those two screws. Once you undo those two, it kind of pops up a little bit here, and then you can kind of lift it up and pop it out. Okay, so just go along here and get underneath and pop this out just like this. Okay, you might have to wiggle it a little. There we go. Alright, let's see if we can repair this without completely taking the whole thing apart. Okay, it looks like there's a screw here for the keyboard. Sometimes if we're lucky, it might just be that we can spin the fan around and then that will fix it. There's a wireless card here, 2 slots for RAM, but there's only 1 stick of RAM in it. You can pop it out by pulling the 2 tabs to the side like that. Pops up, and it's a PC3 10600S stick of RAM, PC3 10600S. Alright, you can swap that out, or you can add another stick. You can make, this one's only 4 gigs. You can put 2 8 gig sticks. If they have 16 gigs, you can even put 2 16 gig sticks. Should be fine. Alright, we're gonna slide it back in and then click it back down, just like that. Looks like there's a 2.5-inch SATA SSD in here. Probably was, most likely was a hard drive before, but was upgraded. Okay, and to remove this, you can see I was able to move it around like that. But normally you would pop this connector off and take the whole thing out. Okay, or you can just take it out like this, and you can pop this connector out just like that. I use my fingernails at the corner edges, and you can see we can pop this off. This is a really old SSD actually, so I don't know. They've had this laptop for quite some time. Alright, anyways, we're gonna pop that back in. For now, let's go ahead and see if we can pop the keyboard out. So I removed 1 screw on the inside here. We're gonna see if we can get this the keyboard out with that. We're gonna have to use a thin metal pry tool to get this out. Oh, I left that in my car, so let me go get that real quick and I'll be back. Alright, so I'm back. Let's go ahead and see if we can pop out the keyboard. So it has these little parts that stick out, these clips. What you do is you get a thin flat tool in between there and the keyboard. Okay, and then you kind of just wiggle that to pop it up. It's stuck. Oh, there we go. And you just continue running along, and same thing. Okay, just going along here. There's not really much of a gap here, so it's really tough to pop this up. Okay, thin tool in there and just work it out. Right, once you get all the upper edge out, we're gonna push with our thumb and pull up with our fingers, and also push down with our pinky to kind of curve the keyboard in like that. You can also help by pulling from the other side like this, and we should be able to get it out. Why is it still? Oh, this is getting caught. There we go. Okay, so you might have to help pop this up while you're lifting it. There we go. And then we kind of curve it in more by pushing this in. And there we go. So we got this. We're gonna flip this latch up, and then we can take the keyboard out. If you're wondering, there are keyboard model numbers here. So there's a bunch of different model numbers here, and a bunch of different model numbers here as well. So you can pause and look up these. This is probably the main one you'll be used, the HP part number. Okay, and then there's also another more replacement part numbers here. Okay, so you can try all of these. 840208. I don't know why there's so many different part numbers on here, but yeah, that's strange. Alright, so there's lots of dust in here. Let's see if this will even spin. And the fan spins a bit, but I can tell like the grease is messing it up. So I am gonna have to take this out and see if I can repair this fan. Okay, so we're gonna undo all these little latches here to pull these cables out. So we're just flipping these latches up. Actually, let me zoom in here for you guys a little bit. It's gonna be a little tricky to kind of keep moving the camera around, but do what we can. Okay, flip all these latches up, and then we can go ahead and pull these cables out. Okay, just like that. Pull the cable out, pull that cable out, and this cable out. Okay, that's the power button one. One thing you want to do, if you haven't already, I probably should have mentioned this earlier. After disconnecting the battery, I'm going to leave this connected, and then we're going to press and hold this power button for 15 seconds. All right, this will drain any residual power and will make it a lot safer to work on, especially if we're going to be disconnecting the LCD video cable or anything like that. Okay, so we're going to hold this a few more seconds. All right, there we go. Should be good. Then we can flip this latch back up and pull this cable back out. Okay, we're going to remove any screws we see inside here. I think there's only one actually, so I see one screw here. We're going to remove that one. And then we're going to go ahead and remove all the other screws that are on the bottom. Okay, so we remove that screw. We're going to close this up, flip this back over. Okay, let's zoom out here and let's go ahead and remove all the screws. So there's quite a few screws. You want to keep them all in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that is I put them flat side down like this on my desk in the pattern. I remove them. Okay, so I'll go by rows. So we have like 4 up here and then we have like a few down here, and just keep going in those rows. All right. If this video helps you out, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. It was missing a screw there, so we're just going to continue going and getting the other screws out. Okay, so we got there, got 3 here. Again, keep all the screws in order so you can tell where you got them from. Right, we're going to remove the wireless card here. Let me zoom in a bit. Okay, so there's these antennas. You want to pull up from the tails just like this. Okay, just pull up. I just use my fingernail. All right, and just pull up like this. You can wiggle it a little bit if it gets stuck. It should just pop out. Sometimes I use both my fingernails on the outer edge, on the back of the tail, and pull it up. And there we go. All right, then we got this screw we're going to remove for the wireless card. Okay, there we go. Get the antennas out of the way. Also take note, they do number these. This one has a 2 on it, the white one, and the black one has a 1. Actually, the black one, I don't even see a label. So it's actually weird because you'll put the black cable to the white arrow and the white cable to the black arrow. Anyways, we'll set that aside. Okay, let's see, what other screws do we got to remove here? We got one holding the optical drive or the disk drive in place, so we'll remove that. Okay, and then we got one all the way on the other side. Let's zoom out here. Got one all the way over here. Oh, that's already missing as well. Okay, let's actually take the hard drive out. So we're going to pull this tab up. Okay, you might have to wiggle it a little if it's stuck. Then we can go ahead and lift this and move that aside. All right, there we go. Okay, there's some dust in here we need to get out. I'm probably gonna have to take this outside and blow it all out again because it has a lot of dust. All right, once we've done that, we're gonna get the CD drive, optical drive out. I just use my fingernail and kind of just go up and down as I kind of pull on it, and that causes the CD drive to wiggle like side to side like this as it pulls. And there we go, we got the optical disk drive out. If you don't really use the CD drive, there are actually adapters, so you can change that into a CD, or I mean into a hard drive slot, and then you can have an extra hard drive if that's what you want. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, where else do we have a screw that we're missing? Okay, I think I just took the optical disk drive, so it's actually missing a few screws because I don't see where a screw is for here. But yeah, all right, then we got another screw down here. Again, keep track of all the screws because they are different size, shape, and lengths, and if you mix them up, you can damage the computer. Okay, I think we got all those out, so now we got the 4 at the bottom. All right, one in this bottom corner, and then, oh, there's also one up here, don't forget that one. Okay, then we got the rest that are at the bottom. Let's get all of those out. This one. Okay, and then we got 2 more down here. Get all of those out. This. Okay, and the last one here. Alright, now that we got all those screws out, let's see if we can pop the bottom cover off. I don't think there's any others that we missed. Alright, so I'm going to go around to here, and you can see where the palm rest is, there's a gap. So I'm going to go with my fingernails in there and kind of like just push with my thumb on the bottom and then pry it out just like this. You can see it's actually popping out relatively easily. Okay, and we're just going to keep going all the way around. Okay, it looks like the trackpad part isn't connected there, so it should be okay to just keep going around. It's getting caught on something, so let's turn it this way and continue. There's an SD card slot in here, I guess, so let's remove that. It looks like this kind, you just have to pull it out. There's nothing in there, they just put an adapter. Okay, anyways, we're gonna go ahead and work our way around the side here. Be careful, because sometimes like things like the headphone jacks and things are caught in there. Okay. We might have to remove the palm rest first on this model. Let's see, I'm not 100% sure because every model is slightly different, but let's go ahead and see if we can pop this up. Okay, it's kind of stuck still. Yep. Alright, then we got to work our way. I'm going to use my fingernail on the side here and see if I can pop this out, but it's kind of being difficult. Did I miss that screw? No, we got all those screws. Interesting. So I don't know, this one side doesn't want to pop out for some reason. Did they glue this or something? It doesn't want to pop out. Interesting. Okay, well, let's see. It looks like the palm rest should come out separately or first, so I guess we're gonna wiggle this around. Okay, it looks like that's working, and just wiggle it and lift it, and there we go. And now we got the top palm rest cover off. All right, we are gonna have to clean that. It is really dusty under there. Okay, looks like we are gonna have to remove the whole motherboard to get this out. So good thing we held the power button to drain any residual power. I am gonna clean this out with a toothbrush and then an air blower. So basically I'm gonna just brush all this whole thing, loosen up the dust, and then use an electric air blower to blow all the dust away. So let me do that real quick and I'll be back. Alright, so I'm back, cleaned out this, cleaned the bottom of the keyboard as well, cleaned a bit of this, and I noticed also that this, come on, let's go, where this piece is, it's broken here, so this might be why the fan, partially why the fan got messed up. Maybe some bits of that got stuck in, but also the fan doesn't spin too well. So again, we are going to take the whole motherboard out, it looks like, and then see if we can repair this fan. Okay, so we're going to finish removing all these connectors. We're going to flip this latch up, pull this cable out, and these are the status lights. We got the fan, or sorry, the speaker. I just used my fingernails at the edge of the connector and kind of just wiggle it and it pops out just like that. We got the optical disk drive connector here. We just grab this and pull it up. We're going to hold the motherboard down, kind of just wiggle it too if it doesn't want to come out. Alright, and then what else we got? We got the DC jack charge port connector here. So same thing, kind of just grab the wings and you just wiggle it as you pull on it and it should eventually walk out just like that. There we go. Okay, and then I guess we just got to remove a few more screws and the LCD LVDS connector. This connector looks like it's supposed to just pop up. Okay, so it's missing the strap for some reason. I'm going to get my fingernail under there, hold this down, and see if I can pop it up. Yep, so pop it up just like that. And yeah, I don't know where the connector or the little plastic tab on top is, but it's missing. Alright, we're going to remove the one screw here. Sorry, I know it's zoomed out pretty far, so it's probably hard to see, but I don't really have much room to move this around now to show you guys. Okay, and there we go. Now we got all of that out. We should be able to lift this up, I believe. Hopefully there's no other hidden screws I'm missing somewhere. We will also have to move this out of the way, this cable, so unroute that and get that out because it's on top of the fan. Okay, and let's see now if we can lift this up. Carefully grab on the side edges. You might have to wiggle it a little bit as you lift it. I'm sliding my hand down as I continue working my way over and get all these cables out of the way. Okay, just like this, and there we go. All right, you can also see the DC, or not the DC, the Cmos BIOS battery here. It's kind of weird that they just have this bare battery here. That's actually really dangerous. I'm gonna wrap this with electrical tape. This is very, very dangerous. I don't know why it's just left like that. I'm gonna disconnect this cable here and then wrap it with electrical tape. Actually, let me just move it over to the side. Yeah, that's very dangerous. I don't know who worked on this before and just put a bare metal piece of battery that can shake around all over the place like that. That is kind of crazy, actually. All right. We're just gonna get some electrical tape here and wrap it up. All right, so just make sure to wrap the ends here. I mean, most people probably aren't gonna have this issue because this is really strange. I don't know who worked on this and did that. I don't think the computer will come like this. All right, so there we go. I'm gonna get some more tape and wrap the other side as well. Okay, there we go. Just like that, and then we're gonna wrap this as well. Okay, there we go. Now the battery should be safe to just be rolling around in there. Hopefully nothing got messed up by moving it around. Okay, I am gonna also clean this up here and clean the bottom because it's pretty dusty. So let me do that again, and yeah, I'll be back. All right, so I'm back. Oh, give me a second, I'm getting a phone call. All right, so I'm back. Let's go ahead and see about removing the fan here. Okay, we cleaned all this up. Let's go ahead and set this aside. Okay, I'll take this here. Let's see if we can put this here. Okay, so this one has clips holding it in place. Okay, we might have to take the heatsink out. Yeah. Sadly, there's screws also holding the fan in place, so we are going to have to take the heatsink out and redo the thermal paste as well. What is this? There's like some thermal paste coming out there. Okay, anyways, to take the fan out, let's zoom in here. So there's 4 screws holding this heatsink in place. We're going to take these 4 screws out. Be careful not to push down too hard on the thing. You don't want to bend the motherboard and damage it. All right, so you twist these until you hear the click. That's how you know the screw's all the way out. Okay, oh, I guess this one didn't click because the springs are pushing it away. And we got the last one here. Okay, then we can remove this. All right, the fan, to disconnect it, I'm going to use my fingernails on the connector here, and I'm just going to kind of wiggle the connector up at the wings. Okay, and there we go. And now we should be able to remove this. Here we go. There's not really much thermal paste here, so we're going to have to redo that as well. It looks like not a very good application of thermal paste. Okay, here you can see there's not really much good thermal paste on there either. Okay, so we got 2 screws here holding the fan. These are likely PH0 or JS0 screws, so I'll remove both of those. Yep. Hopefully this fan will be repairable. All right, so we got both screws out. And I'm gonna have to also repair the little screw mount for the bottom cover. But okay, we got those screws out. Next thing we're gonna do, we gotta hold the fan here, and then we're gonna pop these little clips out of the way. So just lift it up slightly, and there you go. You can see it lifts like that. And there's one over here, same thing. Lift that up and pull that out. Okay, and then the third one over here, same thing. And there we go, we got the fan out. So here you can see there's still some dust in here, even though we kind of blew it out really well. And there's dust in here as well. So I'm gonna clean this with a toothbrush and then just blow it out. Okay, let me do that and I'll be back. All right, I'm back. So we cleaned this off. Okay, I don't know if you can tell, it's a lot cleaner than before. You can see through the thing here, okay? And then we also cleaned up this a little bit. Oh God. All right, let's see if we can pop the propellers off to add grease, because these propellers, if you see when I blow it, it just stops. That means it's not very good. Okay, so what we do to get that, I don't know if you can see the center ring here, basically the outer ring of this. We're going to try and push on that from this side, and you want to evenly press on both sides. And it looks like it's coming out pretty easily. Yep, all right, and there we go. So we're going to now put some new grease here. What we're going to do, we'll get a piece of paper, okay? And we're just going to use that paper to kind of clean the inside part here, okay? So I just get the paper in there and spin that around. And you can see how gross that is, okay? So this was pretty bad. Okay, I don't think we can really clean the inside of this piece, so just kind of wipe it a little, and there we go. Okay, now let's go ahead and get some oil. I just used some synthetic motor oil, what I used in my car. If you don't have a bottle of oil, you could always use pull the dipstick out of your car, or if you have a friend or neighbor or family member, you can ask them, pull the dipstick out and you can get a little oil. We're just using this. The bottle's kind of gross because, yeah. Anyways, I'm going to use a bent out piece of paper clip here. We're just going to tilt the bottle over, dip it in the oil, and then we'll use that to kind of guide a drop, just like this. Okay, and then you can use that to kind of move it around in there. All right, and once it looks good, we're going to take this out. Okay, we're going to do this a couple times, then we'll get the fan blade propellers back on. Okay, it's not even sitting in. It's like, why is it hovering like that? Get in there. Okay, so you can see how much better the fan spins already. Okay, way better. All right, so what we're going to do now, we're going to pop the thing back out, clean it up, and then do that a couple more times. This helps clean out the junk, the bad oil. Okay, so we're going to clean this again. Oh, I think I have another customer here, so I might have to go. All right, let's go ahead and clean this off. Okay, wipe that off. All right, and then we're going to put another drop of oil. The oil came out pretty clean, so we're just going to put one more drop in here, and we should be okay. All right, so you're going to tip this over again. Get some oil on there. Okay. And then we're just going to drip it into there. There we go. Got that. All right. And clean this off. Okay. Then we'll get the propellers back in again. Make sure it's good. All right. And we should be good to go. If you want, you can kind of pop it out one more time and clean up the excess oil that's kind of overflowing. Not too necessary, but we'll clean a little bit of it. All right, we'll put that back in, and there we go. All right, so we got this fan, spins really nice. The way you know it's good is this wobble here. Like if you push it and it wobbles around like that, that's how you know the fan is well lubricated, okay? Because it's the magnets are strong enough to influence it to wiggle back and forth. All right, give me a second. I think I have another customer here. Let me double check. All right. Oh yeah. Okay, I'll be back. All right, so I'm back. Fan is good, as you can see. We're gonna now have to clean up the old thermal paste and reapply that. Okay, so we'll set that aside for now. Let's go ahead and get a paper towel, and we're gonna need some rubbing alcohol. Oh, I left that inside too. We're gonna try and dry it or clean it with a dry one first to see. Wow, yeah, no, that stuff is pretty dried on there. A little bit of it comes off, but not much. And then we also can use like a plastic scraping tool to kind of scrape it up. Since it's kind of stuck on there, let's see if we can get it out a little bit. Yeah, this thermal paste was pretty bad. I'm surprised their computer was working without overheating. Stuff is like solid. Okay, usually when your paste gets like this, it means your computer was probably hitting 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, so I'm going to clean this up. Let me dump this into the trash can next to me here. Okay, I'm going to have to get the rubbing alcohol. That's good. All right, Going to do the same thing with the one on the motherboard. Okay, so just scrape that stuff off. You don't want to use anything too scratchy. This thing is plastic. It's good, it doesn't scratch this. Okay, and we're just gonna get this stuff off. I don't want it to go into the motherboard, so I'm gonna actually tip it upside down over the trash can. So let me do that, scrape all this stuff off, and I'll be back. Alright, so I'm back, and I got some rubbing alcohol. We're gonna use the paper towel, okay, to clean off the residue from the old thermal paste. Okay, and just get a little bit of the rubbing alcohol on there, and we're just gonna clean this off. Okay, just like that. Dry it up. Okay, blow the lint away. This stuff actually looks like it doesn't want to clean off completely, but it should be okay either way. Okay, just get it the best you can. Doesn't need to be 100% perfect. Okay, that's what the thermal paste is for. It fills in the imperfections, the gaps. Okay, we're going to clean up the heatsink as well. Be careful not to bend the pipe here. Okay, just clean it with the rubbing alcohol. There we go. Try it off. Here you can see how gross it is. Okay, clean that up. All right, let's put some new paste in here. Well, actually, let's reattach the fan to the heatsink before we forget. Okay, so we'll get this out of the way. So we got the fan here. Okay, it just reconnects like that. Make sure you have the blowing part facing the fan here. So you just line that all back up. Okay, and we're just gonna clip it all back into place. Sorry if it goes out of view. Just there we go. Make sure to clip everything in place. And then we're just gonna put those screws back in. Alright. Just like that. And then we're gonna get these screws back in. Okay, 2 screws. Loosely fit it to make sure everything lines up. Okay, make sure all the clips are good. Good, good. All right, and then let's go ahead and tighten those 2 screws back in. So that one and this one. Oh, this screw for some reason is being really weird. It's really loose. Did I accidentally swap them or something? Or what's going on here? Let's see. Let the screw come back out. No, that screw is really stuck in there. Okay, that's weird. Okay, there we go. Did that get it out? Okay. Let's see if I swap these, if it will make a difference. I doubt it. No, yeah, that side the screw just keeps spinning. So that plastic is stripped out. Okay. This one's good. All right. So we got the fan reassembled. And now we need to redo the thermal paste. So we don't need much thermal paste. These CPU dies are really small. And this thing is just going to end up going back this way. Make sure you plug the fan back in the right way. There's actually a little thing that sticks out on the plastic of the connector that goes into a little notch on the end here. Okay, let's go ahead and get the thermal paste. So use very little. We're just going to get a tiny ball here. Okay. Even that's kind of too much. And then this one we're going to put kind of like a grain of rice. Just like that. Okay. That's pretty much all it needs. It doesn't really use too much. Okay, and just make sure it's centered so that way when it squeezes, it'll spread out completely. Okay, just like that. Okay, there we go. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to get the fan into place. Just line it up, or the heatsink. All right. Also, there is an order you do this, so you can see 1, 2, and then 3, and then 4. So you screw them in that order. Okay. Line everything up. And what I do is I twist it backwards. I'll feel it like click. There. 1, 2, 3. Okay. The other one. Push it. Click. 1, 2, 3. All right. This one. 1, 2, 3. And then backwards again. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then we're just going to go again. 1, 2, 3. This side. 1, 2, 3. This one. 1, 2, 3. This one. 1, 2, 3. Back to here. 1, 2, 3. Now it's tight. This one. 1, 2, 3. Make sure it's tight. This one. 1, 2, 3. Oop, I almost dropped the screwdriver. And then the last one here. Okay. And we should be good. The springs will slowly push and spread the thermal paste out. And we're going to get this. Oops. There we go. Get that lined up. Accidentally smashed the connector a little bit with the fan. Or not really smashed it, but got it trapped. There we go. Then line it up and just pinch that into place. Good. All right, so we should be good to go. We just got to now reassemble the entire computer. And yeah, everything should be good. Again, I am going to have to fix that screw mount on the other one because it is messed up. And we'll see. Okay, so let's get the computer back into place, this piece. All right, we're going to get this back in. We do have to go in at an angle. This thing is kind of dangling around, so we just got to kind of make sure it doesn't get in the way. All right, so get this, get all these cables back on top. Get this cable back on top. Okay. Make sure this cable's on top. Make sure this cable is on top. The speaker and the optical disk drive cable here as well. Okay, then we'll slowly let it go back down. There we go. Make sure this cable's back on top as well. And then make sure we can plug this DC jack charge port connector in. Okay, get it lined up. Okay, and then we're gonna now push this back in. There we go, just like that. Make sure this is lined up. You can see it's kind of like floating up, so something is caught underneath or it's not lined up right. So this is not lined up right. Make sure we get all of this in. What is this not? Something's not lining up here. That all shoved over properly and it should go. Why isn't it going in right? This is weird. Oh, there we go. Okay, now we got that all lined up right. Don't forget to put the one screw that was down here back in. Okay, let's actually flip it over and look at the bottom. Wireless antennas and everything look okay. Okay, maybe I have to fix the Cmos battery. It's kind of trapped. So I'm going to undo the screw here. It's trapped a little weird, so I'm going to flip this over and just readjust the BIOS battery. Cmos battery, because right now it's in the way of the connector for the hard drive. Okay, I think that's good. Let's go ahead and put that screw back in. Hopefully it's in a good spot. Okay, then all this cabling, you can kind of route it back. Make sure it's all going the right way. Alright, get this cable, just line it up and click it back down into place. Speaker connector, same thing, pinch it into place. This cable, flip that latch up and get it in. Alright, and then flip that latch down. There we go. I don't know what this screw hole is for. Doesn't look like it goes to anything, which is weird. Okay, they put an arrow pointing to it, so it's kind of weird. All right, then we got the LCD LVDS connector. Make sure it routes around, goes back under all those little grooves, and then line it up and click it down. Then we got this, flip that latch up, get that in. Once it's in place, latch that down. Good. All right, so we got all of that in. We are again going to have to fix this piece somehow. I don't know, we're probably gonna have to use the JB weld, but that stuff takes a long time to set, so we'll see. All right, give me a second. I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do and I'll be back. All right, so because of the way this broke, I'm probably going to have to put a dab of JB weld here and then leave this sitting like this overnight or for at least 5-10 hours. Then I can put a bit more JB weld around here and it should set properly. So this is kind of going to be annoying. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of that real quick. So let's go ahead and grab this. We're going to just take a tiny bit because we need barely any actually. Just a very small amount. Even probably the amount in this lid is enough. Let's see here if I can scrape it into here. Yep, that should be enough. Okay, so we'll do that. And then we'll take the black one. And we'll clean this off real quick. Alright, and then we just need a tiny bit of this. Just like that. Alright, very little. Because we just need that thing to stay in place, hold itself in place while we can put the rest on. Okay. So do that, take this, and we'll just stir this stuff up. Usually I don't work with this small quantities of this stuff, but all right, then let's go ahead and scrape this up into a pile. All right, and then we're going to move this metal brass piece out of the way. We'll just put the JB weld in there. Okay. Some down the sides as well. We are going to have to put a whole bunch later, but for now we're just going to get this one piece to stick. Okay, there we go, just like that, and then we'll just get this in there, and hopefully it will be aligned properly when it completely sets. So yeah, we're going to leave this like this for several hours, then we'll come back, fill up the area around it to help hold that as well, and we'll see you guys then. Okay, bye for now. Alright, so I'm back with this computer. As you can see, this screw is, or the screw mount is now kind of holding itself in place. We are going to fill the rest of this with the epoxy. So let's go ahead and mix them up and get that going. Okay, we got this back. Alright. I'm gonna have to open up the new ones because these are running out, as you can see. Okay, we shouldn't need a crazy amount, but just enough. Let's see here. It's gonna somewhat fill that hole there, so they made it hollow. Let's see. Probably gonna need about. Is that a good amount? That should be a good amount. This times 2. Okay, so I'll get that. Need a piece of paper towel to clean this stuff up. Okay, and wipe this off. Okay, that's a good amount. Hopefully that's about even proportions. I think it shouldn't be too bad if it's not 100% perfect, because this screw mount has been somewhat holding the laptop together even though it was broken. So I think it should be good either way, but we'll see. When I mix it together, I can kind of tell by the color of the gray. Looks like a good color, so I think we should be okay. Alright, just gonna stir that up, mix that together. Okay. Okay, so we got a good mix. Sorry, that was off camera, I guess. I wasn't really paying attention. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna now just fill in this gap here. Move the fabric-y tape out of the way a little bit. Okay, so we're just gonna fill this up here and try and glue this all together. All right, I don't know how I'm gonna wrap this to prevent it from getting into other stuff. Maybe I'll put some saran wrap there, and then when I close it, hopefully it will protect it enough. Okay. All right, we got this. And then we'll get this on there. All right. Want to get good coating, make sure that it will hold. You can see they put these like thin plastic fins there to hold it. Not a good design. I don't know why they don't just fill the whole thing. Just saves them a little plastic, but then these things always break. It's very common piece to break here that I've seen on a lot of computers. Okay, this kind of setup breaks very often. Not a good design. If you're an engineer out there and you're making these on these computers, please stop it. Make a better design, because these things don't hold up. Okay. Alright, so I think that should be good. We'll put some more glue up around the top layer. Alright. I'm trying to scrape up the last little bit I can, and then we're gonna see, we have to find a way to close this up with that, like that. That way it can set properly. Okay. If I leave it open like this, it might set in a way that the cover won't go on. So it's good to find a way to get the cover on and then close it up. Okay. So I'm gonna clean up the stuff. Okay. I'll wipe this out. There we go. Okay, so we'll set this stuff aside again. We're good to go on that. Set that aside. Okay, so let's see here now. We got, I guess let's get some saran wrap. So I'm gonna get a small thing of saran wrap here. We'll see if this will help. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this. Saran wrap is nice because it's super thin. Okay. And then what we can do is we can just wrap it around the top here. Okay, now that that's wrapped around there, I'm going to hold it in place and then poke a hole through it. Right, that way the screw can go through as well. Alright, uh-oh, looks like some of the glue went through on there, so we'll see. Usually the glue can't stick too well to the screws. It does stick somewhat, but not a crazy amount, so we should be okay. Oh, I think what it is because I put glue in, it went through and then it's hollow, so yeah. All right, well, we'll see how this goes. Let's get the computer back here. All right. And then we're gonna go ahead and put this cover back on top. It has this like little area here that the epoxy can only go in that far, so it should be okay. Hopefully it doesn't yank on the cable. I think the saran wrap is blocking it enough that it should be okay. All right, we're gonna get all of this lined up. That cable's in, so we should be good. Clip all of this back together. This is a HP Pavilion G series, as it shows right there. Okay, I'm gonna get this screw in. Make sure to lift that latch. Okay, there we go. Lift this latch. Get this in. Alright, get the other one. Alright, get that in. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and get some of these screws back in. So we had one screw up here that we need to put. I have another screw that I'm not 100% sure where that one came from. Am I missing something? Hopefully not. Jeez. Okay, now we're gonna get this into place. Make sure this little latch is up. Okay, then you just get this into place. Sorry if my head's in the way. I need to see what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. And then flip that latch down. All right, pretty straightforward. Slide the bottom feet in first, and then like before, we're kind of flex it. So we push the left side down like this while holding it up. Then push the right side down, and then you can go ahead and go around and push all of it down. Good to go. Close this up. Okay, flip this back over, and let's go ahead and get these screws back in. So, did I miss something here? I think this screw was missing before. So, yeah, let's go ahead and put these back in and see what we got. So we'll tighten this screw first. Get this screw in. So this is one of the longer ones. Okay, good. And then the furthest out here. Okay, then we got 4, so we got this one, then 3 in here. If you're wondering, the one on the outside, unless somebody opened it and mixed them up, was shorter. I don't know if somebody mixed up the screws in here, so yeah, I'm just going based on what I see. Okay, last one here. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and put the optical disk drive or CD drive back in, just get it lined up and push it into place. Good. Then we got 2 screws here. Oh, wait, is that what I missed? Okay, that's where that one screw came from, the keyboard. So, got these 2. This one and the one out here. Hopefully I'm not mixing things up. We got the one for the optical, or not the optical, the keyboard here. Yep, alright, good. And then we got the 4 or 5 at the bottom. And the one random one right here. Alright, I think that's all. Get the random one right here. Okay, there we go. So we got all of that back into place. Next we have the SSD or hard drive. Okay, get that in this side first, though it doesn't really matter actually. Line it up and click that into place. Alright, the wireless card, of course. It goes in at an angle like this. Make sure to get the antennas out of the way, lower it down, and tighten that in. Okay, and then we'll get these back in. So again, the white one goes to number 2 or the black arrow, and the black one goes to number 1 or the white arrow. Okay, there we go. Now we got the bottom cover to put back on. They had a USB, so let's put that back in. Okay, get this in at an angle like this, and then while you're kind of holding this up, push these down like that, around. Okay, put that in. Then we'll get these screws into place, and that's pretty much it. The battery you put in at an angle and then push it down like that, but they don't have a battery, so that's all we got. Anyways, that's all there is to this. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, again, please make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Also, don't forget if they had an SD card thing. But yeah, other than that, thanks for watching. And I'll see you all in the next one. All right, let's drop this. Bye.